Hey guys, I'm Reader Not Found, and I'm back with another review. As you know, I review books on this channel in a calm, relaxing format that you can listen to in the background while cleaning up or when you are trying to fall asleep. I'm thinking of expanding to reviewing movies very soon too, so let me know if you have any suggestions. I'm a new YouTuber, so any feedback is welcome as well. Lessons in Chemistry is a book about Elizabeth Zott, a scientist, a mother, and much more. The book starts with her championing women's rights and challenging people on their stereotypes, prejudices, and her storming into Walter Pine's office after his daughter ate her daughter's lunch that she had curated on the basis of nutritional charts. It tries to achieve keeping forth the ideas, primarily of second-wave feminism. The book centers around this scientist who faces abuse and discrimination at work due to her gender, and ultimately has to live with the consequences of the same. As a scientist, she is not able to achieve her potential. She is often underemployed. Even if she does get the job done, or she does get a promotion, it is attributed to her sleeping with a male superior. So, we glide through her struggles in 1960s, as she is a scientist at UCLA, to her doing a TV show called Supper at 6, where she cooks and educates women on how to feed a more nutritious meal for their family, then finally, her going back to what she loves, which is science. Now, what I liked about this book are the initial conversations that it presents about religion, God, feminism, science, the culture of STEM, and in general, pregnancies. For the first 50%, the book is quite tolerable. These are all intelligent conversations that Elizabeth has with people, and she has also raised Madeline in the same manner. The first half of the book is quite fun, especially to read the rom-com moments between Elizabeth and Calvin. Another thing that I liked about this book was, initially, there was this abuse scene that was written very well, and I liked the pencil scene. 6:30, the dog was a very good character. The surname change discussion, and I believe a lot of good of this book just happens in the first half of it, and then we are left with nothing, just like Madeline and Elizabeth in their lives. The last 50% of the book is not much to read about. It is very bland. Post the 50% mark, this book gets quite torturous to read because it is the repetition of same ideas over and over again. You see her criticizing, for example, religion in the first part, and then we will see a more detailed criticism of religion in the later chapters. To me, some characters of this book were worth investing my time in. For example, I did like Elizabeth's character initially, Madeline's character. Calvin Evans was a joy to read. Walter Pine was also a good character. Even the negative characters that have been written, I would say, have been written well. However, my main problem with the book and its narration lays in the fact of how it switches its point of views. If the book had been from the point of view of just Elizabeth and Madeline, and switching between the two, I think I would have preferred that over the book, taking us through the eyes of multiple side characters. This is where I lost most of my interest, because I did not want to read this book from the point of view of a neighbor. That seemed quite redundant to me, and just lengthened the book, adding nothing to it. Another thing that got a bit too much for me was I liked how Elizabeth was blunt and straightforward in her approach to talk to people, but I did not like how she was a snob about it. She came off as rude a lot of times, and I do not say this because she is a woman, which I believe could be misconstrued as that. It is just that her character is very hard to get into, even for a reader. For example, there is this one scene where she engraves a chemical reaction on her husband's gravestone, and we are not given context to what that is. Am I supposed to Google that? Just tell me what it is. I mean, it is not common knowledge, as you might think, and that is the thing with this book. You wanted to bring science to the masses, especially to the women, and yet you made reading this so difficult. Finally, there is this aspect of religion bashing that went a little overboard for me. I'm not a very religious person myself either, but this book takes it way beyond the line, where at this point, it is just about putting the other thing down, and not about placing the merits and demerits of it. Even if I look at it from a point of view of, oh, this is something that has hurt her, or this is something that she blames, it still does not merit her putting it down over and over again. And similar treatment is meted out to the characters that have an attachment to this sort of lifestyle. A lot of females in the book are shown as catty, or simple-minded, or bitches. And just to prove, Elizabeth Zott is not. If she ever finds supportive females, it is at the end of the book when they have once been bad to her. So I think that defeated the purpose of the book a lot. In a similar vein, the book also is quite subtle in its humor, and I did not feel it was quite humorous in the way it was advertised to be. Despite all of that, this book is a good attempt to bring out some of the issues that might be taken for granted, even to this date, and for that, it is a good piece of literature. However, it could have been done much better if it was not the length it is, if it is not as bashing as it is, and if it wasn't written with the superiority complex, it would have been a much better grounded read. To me, it was just another book that didn't impact me or didn't leave a significant mark on me. I just read it, and I'm quite indifferent to it. It is an okay one-time read, and it was very average. And so was the adapted show. See you next time. If you enjoyed this review, please leave a comment.